It's been more than 2.5 years since Donald Trump signed an executive order to ban TikTok. A lot has happened since then, both in politics and in US China tech relations, to change the landscape on which this battle has been fought. A court blocked the White House order, and Donald Trump himself has long since left office. The US has moved in other fronts, most notably against Huawei, the telecoms equipment supplier, and a recent effort to thwart China's ability to buy or make high-end chips. China, meanwhile, has cracked down on its own tech giants, leaving the clear impression they are now beholden to Beijing. Through it all, TikTok has gone from strength to strength as its influence in the social media world has grown. Yet in the US, it remains in limbo. Recent events suggest that opposition is a gathering force. Earlier this week, Marco Rubio, the most senior Republican on the Senate Intelligence Committee, was one of the sponsors of a proposed law to ban social media, to ban the social media app. Meanwhile, the U.S. Senate unanimously voted to bar federal workers from downloading the app on their personal phones. These moves came a month after Christopher Wray, FBI director, appeared before Congress to warn of what he described as a national security risk from allowing TikTok's continued operation in the U.S. The flurry of opposition represents a shot across the bow of the White House, which has been edging towards a deal that would allow TikTok to continue operating, subject to new restrictions. Joe Biden's administration has left it to the Committee on Foreign Investment in the U.S. to thrash out the terms under which TikTok can continue in the U.S. But this week's political backlash shows that as it closes on a deal, TikTok faces an uphill battle to convince critics. One concern has been the risk that Americans' personal data will leak to China. On the other hand, it has been easy to dismiss the information TikTok collects as beneath the interest of a foreign government. Also, a lack of federal privacy rules in the US means that plenty of personal information about US citizens is already widely available through data brokers who are perfectly free to sell to foreign buyers. Yet, TikTok still has a vast trove of potentially valuable information, including location and device data. Its growing influence will only add to the amount of information it collects in future. The company has proposed ways of walling off this data and facilities that can only be accessed by employees in the US in order to prevent it leaking to China. But it will be hard to convince US politicians that the company's Chinese ownership would not leave it exposed to pressure from Beijing that overrides any deal with Washington. A second concern surrounds the potential for TikTok's recommendation algorithm to be used to manipulate content being shown to Americans, making it, as FBI Director Wray put it, a potential tool of foreign influence operations. TikTok isn't the only social media app to attract attention. There have been calls in Washington for a review of Elon Musk's takeover of Twitter on national security grounds, given the backing the deal has received from Saudi Arabian Prince Alawid bin Talal. TikTok says decisions about algorithmic promotion of content are taken in the US, free of influence from China. Proving this is the case will be a challenge. An audit of the company's recommendation algorithm might offer some reassurance. That still leaves many questions, including who would conduct the audit, how effective could it identify outside influence, and what level of transparency will be needed to reassure observers without giving away valuable intellectual property. Answers are likely soon, but as the rising anxiety in Washington shows, any arrangement that keeps TikTok in business, in the US is likely to provoke a political fight. So this piece relies largely on the contribution of Richard Waters. Richard Waters is a columnist with the Financial Times, and this piece was written on the 16th of December edition of the Financial Times. So see what you make of all of these things concerning TikTok and indeed Twitter. And thank you very much for watching this video.